Singapore, an economic miracle. In one generation, this tiny Southeast Asian island has made the move from third world status to first. It's now undergoing one of the world's largest ever subway expansions. A mighty challenge, given that they're tunneling underneath a bulgy metropolis and through difficult soil conditions.
But you put any pressure on it, and it just does that. Black toothpaste.
The work is time-consuming and dangerous.
What I'm a little bit concerned about is that the tunnel boring machine is stationed right below the swimming pool. What I'd like to see is that TBM moving forward away from those condominiums.
Can they do it without causing a collapse of the mass of towers, buildings, and roadways that make up Singapore? Can they drill these new tunnels through the eye of a needle? Singapore is one of the most densely populated countries in the world. 4 million people packed onto a tiny island. That's 15,000 people every square mile. It's tackled transport chaos by creating a public transport system with no equal. By 2010, there will be a subway stop every 400 meters throughout most of the island. Risky business for the men building it under this massive humanity.
One of the points about our alignment here is that we have to avoid two high-rise structures. These are private structures, condominiums, here and here.
Chris Knight-Hassel is a British engineer who recently worked on the London Underground expansion. He's now working for the Singapore government on this massive project.
If we're wrong here by about an inch, that's just not acceptable, and these are the things that we just can't get wrong.
These are the two buildings Chris's team is tunneling under.
As we're increasing the amount of underground networks and so on in Singapore, we're coming closer and closer to buildings. And here you can see an example where we're literally threading ourselves through the eye of a needle. So here I am below the swimming pool, and behind me here is the slurry TBM.
The tunnel boring machine is launched through a shaft in the ground, often at depths of 30 meters. Like a giant earthworm, it moves its way through the ground, chewing through soil and rock. Concrete rings are then put in place where the soil has been removed, right up until it meets its destination.
It's almost like a manufacturing plant. We're continually doing the same old thing. We're digging the ground, pushing ourselves forward, building a ring and removing the soil as we go along.
The world of tunneling is slow. They can only put in about 7 of these 19-ton concrete rings a day. That's about 10 meters of tunnel. Move too quickly in Singapore's soft soil, and you're asking for trouble.
If we try and progress the tunnel boring machine too quickly, we may end up drawing in too much ground. And if that was to happen, what that would translate into is perhaps too much or excessive settlement to surface. What this could mean is that you start seeing cracks or something in the building, and that's something we're really trying to avoid.
It can take almost a year for the massive tunnel boring machine to break through the wall of the excavated station that lies ahead. This is the glory moment that all the men working underground dream of, making it here in one piece.
Okay, up and down, exercise begin. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Each morning at 8 a.m., the Japanese contractor gets an army of men ready for the day's work.
Okay, exercise begin.
They start with a few limbering up exercises.
Strong bending, forward, backward, exercise begin. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay, knee rotating exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4.
It ends with a call to action.
Safety first, safety first, safety first.
Then it's off to work 25 meters below ground. Today, there's a problem. The tunnel boring machine is not chewing through the rock as well as it should. So the man in charge, Tom Watanabe, has stopped it and gone to one of the most dangerous places underground, the cutting head.
All this metal piece turns, and what it does is that it uses these pipe cutters to scrape and breaks all the rocks and soils to dig through the soil. So this is the thing that is doing all the job.
But it's not looking good.
These are all worn off.
He's decided the cutting heads need changing. A dangerous job for his men.
We are about 20 meters below ground. This soil, it can drop any time if we are not careful.
But the work needs to get done.
I want somebody coming in.
The men are called into work in one of the most dangerous places underground. One wrong move could spell disaster. Singapore is undergoing one of the world's biggest ever subway expansions. There are 13 construction squads working throughout the island. Almost 5,000 men putting in 33 kilometers of tunnel and 29 new stations. A $6 billion project. It requires 2 shifts working day and night, often in heat and humidity soaring above 40 degrees. Today, they've had to stop one of the giant tunnel machines and go right to the front where the soil around them can drop at any time.
What are you doing? I'm waiting for you.
They've decided to change the cutting teeth. It's a treacherous and expensive job. Each blade costs $10,000. To change all the teeth costs $500,000.
If it starts to settle, we know that the ground on top of us is moving. And if we see a lot of movement, then I will start. I have no choice. I have to get my guys out.
The job continues into the night. It's a tough business, with long hours for the man overseeing the work.
Sometimes I had to work for 3 days non-stop. If I have problems, I have to stay. If I have problems.
The job goes smoothly, and the tunnel boring machine starts turning again. It's work that goes largely unnoticed in the expanding metropolis, 25 meters above the ground. 4 million people living on an island half the size of Los Angeles. It's one of the richest and most culturally diverse countries in Asia. It's also said to be the most modern and efficient city in the world. But not too long ago, Singapore was a very different place.
If you can go from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe in 40 years, I think Singapore has traveled that journey. I think one of the little known facts about Singapore is that it's one of the very few developing countries that has actually made the transition from developing to developed status, and all in the space of 30 to 40 years.
In 1965, when Singapore gained independence from Malaysia, it was poor. Rickshaws and old buses rattled along the streets, and cars clogged the roadways of this tiny little island.
We would have 15 people living in a room. In my case, we had a family of 6, and we lived in a one-room house in Singapore. So it was, a typical developing country. And in 1965, when Singapore became independent, I think we had the same per capita income as Ghana, about $500 per year.